All right. Number 5. Write a function that expresses the amount of food, A of W, in ounces that a large dog should be fed as a function of W, the weight of the dog in pounds. Sorry. Determine the domain and range of the function. All right. So remember it said he's getting 60 ounces plus 1 ounce for every 10 pounds of additional weight. How did I find that additional weight? Can you recall what I did there on this previous page? To find my additional weight, I did whatever the weight was minus 100. So we're going to write W minus 100. Well, let's clean this up a little bit. All right. So we're going to have 60 plus 1/10 W. 1/10 of 100 is 10. So this is going to be minus 10. I could still clean this up because I have common like terms, right? 60 minus 10 is 50. So I'm going to write this as 1/10 W plus 50. Now, it asked me to determine the domain. When would I use this function? What must be true about my dog? The dog must weigh more than 100 pounds, right? So my domain here would be W greater than 100. What kind of problems what would my range be here? How many ounces? What's the least amount of ounces this dog would be fed? Well, we know it has to be a dog bigger than 100 pounds, right? Well, what would happen if I plug in 100 here? Let's do that off to the side over here. 60 plus, nope, sorry. Take that back. Let's just scratch this one. 1/10 of my pounds. So let's plug in 100. And we're going to do plus 50. Because I'm using the end of this equation right here, where I've simplified it to the most simplest form. 1/10 of 100 is 10. Plus 50. So that's going to be my A of W has to be greater than 60. We fed 60 at the 100 pounds, right? So anything extra is going to be additional in addition to the 60 ounces. All right, let's take a look at the introduction to number 6. Miriam realizes there are 3 different algebraic feeding rules to follow because dogs are different sizes. She organizes her feeding rules in a list so that she can quickly refer to them whenever she has to decide how much food to feed a dog. Complete Miriam's list by writing the appropriate function. Indicate the domain by writing the appropriate inequality symbols. All right. Now, if it's a small dog, that's the top one, right? We just feed it its weight in ounces. And that's only whenever our dog is between 0 and 20 pounds, right? So 0 must be 0 is less than W, which is less than 20. Notice I'm not putting the equal to here. It's just less than. Well, my dog can't be 0 pounds because then the dog really wouldn't exist. It at least has to be a few ounces, right? And remember, a 20-pound dog is considered mid-size. Let's talk about that mid-size formula. The mid-size was the one that we wrote back over here on question number 1, this 1/2 W plus 10. So I'm going to write that down. 1/2 W plus 10. And that is when the dog is between 20 pounds. Notice I've included it. And 100 pounds. Notice we've included it. Okay. So 20 to 100, including those numbers. So I put those equal to parts. Okay. Let's take a look. We just did the large size dog here in problem number 5. We came up with the formula. 1/10 of the dog's weight plus 50. And this is only when my dog is greater than 100. Must be bigger than that 100-pound mark. The vet has a German shepherd named Max. And Miriam knows that the vet feeds Max 63 ounces of food each day. Miriam also knows that the vet feeds her Cocker Spaniel, Min, 32 ounces of food each day. If the two dogs are being fed correctly, what is each dog's weight, and explain your reasoning. Now, recall, yesterday when we talked about it, the most that our small dog could eat is 20 ounces. We know that this has to be, A of W has to be less than 20. Okay. We know that the large dogs are getting fed at least more than 60 ounces. So this would have been A of W is greater than 60 ounces, right? So if it's 20 all the way up to 60, that would make it obviously those mid-sized dogs, right? So A of W, oops, shouldn't have put that there. I'll rewrite it. It should be 20 to 60. Okay. So based on that information, these are the ranges that correspond with this information. What kind of dog is Max? He's getting fed 63 ounces. So is he fall in this small dog range, medium dog, or large dog? That's right. Max is a large dog. Because he is fed more than 60 ounces. Now, knowing that, I can figure out how much he weighs because I'm going to use the large dog formula. He gets fed 63 ounces. So I'm going to set that equal to the large dog equation. 1/10 of W plus 50. I'm going to solve for W. So I'm going to subtract 50. It gives me 13 equals 1/10 W. Well, I have 1/10, so I'm going to multiply by 10 over 1 on both sides of my equation. Multiply by my reciprocal. 10 times 13 is 130 pounds. All right. Let's take a look at Min. Men's getting fed 32 ounces. So does that make that dog a small dog, a medium-sized dog, or a large dog? Falling between 20 and 60 gives me a mid-sized dog. So men is a mid-sized dog because she is fed between 20 and 60 ounces of food. So that means whenever I go to set up this equation, I'm going to set it up using the mid-size formula. So 32 equals 1/2 W plus 10. Subtract 10. I have 22 equals 1/2 W. Going to multiply by 2 over 1. 2 times 22 is 44 pounds. On to the next set of questions.